Good morning. It's Saturday morning. The shop's pretty early. This is a tabletop I'm working on. Got to get some finish on it today. I might actually have to sand this before the next finish. But anyhow, Broadwingers, Vans, Barefoot shoes. I'm going to get into what you could do with these to make them almost what you want. They're not perfect, and I want to discuss this as well. And I also want to make a distinction in this video, the difference between, your barefoot shoe and your barefoot minimalist shoe, because everybody's putting those two things together, and it makes sense. Even Chris Lehman makes these Broadwingers. By the way, I want to point out that I'm not pushing Broadwingers on anybody. I get a few comments. I've had a few comments in the videos with the Broadwingers where people are balking at the price. I get it, man. They're not inexpensive. I think they're up to like $1,300. I know. I know. I hear you. The thing about the Broadwingers is, for one thing, Chris is just like me. He's one guy. He happens to be married and he's got a new baby, so that's different. But he works for himself, by himself, one pair at a time. He makes a custom last based on the measurements of your foot, and he builds you a pair of shoes that are made for your feet. So when people are watching this video and they're going to go, you got the Jim Greer boots, you got this, you got that. Yeah, but they're not made for your foot. They're going to work. They'll probably work fine. They're not made as well as this, and these are made specifically for your feet. So it's people like me that find these things because we're in a position where we need this shoe, because all the store-bought shoes are a problem. We've tried them. I've been down the path, man, and I've had foot issues for years. And then decades of being in the trades, framing houses and working in shops and on movie sets and everything else, wearing Danners and other shoes where the toe is more, pointed at the center, so it's pushing your toes together. I ended up with a horrible bunion issue, and I'm still fixing this foot. These shoes went a long way to correcting my foot issues. That's why I wanted them. But secondarily, I wanted a barefoot shoe with a few of the barefoot shoe elements that are standard, which is zero rise, zero heel rise. It's flat. No arch support whatsoever. And a wide toe box. Now, a minimalist shoe also should be very flexible. These are actually extra thick according to Chris, but they're still very flexible. You want the shoe to kind of conform to your foot, conform to what's underneath you. The thing is, for me personally, I just needed a pair of work boots that had the basic elements of a barefoot shoe, which again, zero heel rise, wide toe box, no arch support. Briefly on the arch support, we all think we need an arch support. We've been conditioned to believe that, and that's bullshit. All right. I had flat feet for years, and I was running arch supports in all my shoes. And I'm about 5 years now, probably a solid 5 years into the barefoot shoe journey. And I've done the sandals, I've done a bunch of different shoes. I've got the Venmo, you know what they are. I could have had them all out here, but there's no point in it. Going to no arch support, flat shoe, basically a shoe that allows your feet to do what they're supposed to do when you're walking around barefoot, has created an arch in my foot again. So what happens is if you were just walking around barefoot all the time and not wearing shoes, your feet would grow stronger, the muscles in the bottoms of your feet will develop, and you will see an arch develop. I think what I'm saying here is accurate for 90% of the people who would try that experiment. And that's what happened to me. I have much healthier feet now. I'm much healthier. I've been fixing all my issues. I don't have any knee pain, back problems, nothing. It's all because I went to barefoot shoes. I'm very happy about it. I show these shoes off a lot because I believe in Chris. I want to support him, but he can't keep up with everything. He's one guy. So it's okay that you think, some people think that they're too expensive and they would just not spend that kind of money. You probably don't need this shoe. I needed it. The people that go to Chris needed it, and it works for us. I will point out, I've been wearing these. I'm just a couple weeks short of a solid year of wearing these. These are the only shoes I've been wearing. I've only worn, in this past year, a different pair of shoes maybe a dozen times. like maybe a dozen days. I don't even think that's accurate. I think it's probably less than 12 times this past year that I wear any other shoe. I've been wearing these shoes every day. You can see the wear on this, and I will be sending these back for a resole. And we're going to put a little bit of a thicker New Flex level layer here, and a little bit of a thicker Vibram sole, so that one won't wear out as quick. I have another pair I ordered first. I'm having those rebuilt because I changed the design on those, and they're going to be coming to me soon as well. Now, because I'm going to send these back and get them resold, I needed a pair of shoes to wear in the shop. Oh boy, I almost just created an accident behind me. So that's what these are for. I got these Vans here, okay? They're kind of goofy looking because I ordered them. Now, what happened was, people told me this, I've looked into it. I had an old computer that wasn't allowing me to use the new browsers, so I couldn't get on the Vans website, but I got a new computer, so now I'm able to do it. But I discovered wide Vans. Now, they are wider here than standard Vans. The problem with them is that they're still pointy in the center, and I'm just trying to see something here, and I think I see it. I don't think I'm imagining anything here. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. That's interesting. So I bought these. I found these, and this is an incredible pair of Vans. These are a custom-made pair. Town and Country Surf, Hawaii. Really, really neat. They've got the European size 45. Just so you guys know, I'm a size 10. Right? All the Vans, I'm a size. Oh, it doesn't say that there. It says it lower on the tag. But I wear a 10, and I'm getting the wide. So I tried these out, and these are actually pretty stinking comfortable. The toe box is not as wide as this, but I don't feel totally forced where my toes are being forced in. Obviously, my toe does hit the side here, but it's not uncomfortable. An interesting thing about Vans, just so you know, if they have leather on the eyelet stay section, what did I just say? This section here where the eyelets are, if this is leather, it won't have eyelets in it. I put these eyelets in. I think I said they were an 1/8 inch, but I think they're 3/16 inch eyelets. With a little eyelet kit. I put them in myself because the laces, when you try to pull through just the leather, they're a pain in the ass. When you order them from Vans, if you want eyelets, you have to get fabric here. That's how that works. And I didn't feel like going through the process of putting the eyelets in again, but I probably will if I order another pair. Here's the thing about these things. They all have a heel rise in them, and I'll show you. I got some here. As a matter of fact, this pair of shoes right here that I bought had this insole in it. Look how fat that heel is. Now, a lot of you are going, oh, that looks like it'd be very comfortable. I'm sure it is, but goes against the whole barefoot shoe thing. So the first thing you have to do is take these out. Now, this pair, I was very lucky, had this removable insole in it. That's not how most Vans come. I was very pleased with that. And what I ended up doing with this particular pair is, when Chris sent me these, he also sent me a pair of 1/4 inch cork insoles. So I put the 1/4 inch cork in this. It's flat, no heel rise, no arch support, a wider area in the toe, although it's not wide enough. I'm going to have a message for Vans, if there's anybody from Vans watching this video now in a moment, to help you to make this a better shoe. I don't expect you to listen to me or take my advice, but I suggest that you do. But anyhow, so these were great, and I thought, okay, and I really like them. The problem for me was these are so cool and so unique, possibly rare, I don't know. I don't want to beat these up. I certainly don't want to wear them in the shop, and I want to wear these, like if I'm cruising the Strand on one of the old vintage BMX cruisers I build, or the clunkers. These are cool, man. If I'm going to go out somewhere, and I know I'm not going to mess them up, this is what I want to wear. House party or yard party or something. If I ever go out again, I'll wear these. These are great. I don't want to wreck them. I want to preserve these for as long as possible. So when I got the new computer, I went online and I went to the Vans site, and you can order your own Vans. You can custom make them. Here's the thing. I got these. I feel like I should take it off. They're kind of goofy looking, right? So they actually have, I'm wearing these shorts now that are what we call the chocolate chip camo pattern, and they have that. I could have did it, but I thought it was too much camo. So this is actually a giraffe pattern. And I actually just put these together specifically to wear in the shop. Just so I have a shoe to wear in the shop while these are getting rebuilt. I don't care about these. I can beat them up, wear them out, whatever. And I ordered them, and 5 minutes after I ordered them, I remembered, wait a second, I've been wanting a patriotic pair of Vans for a while. I'd seen them before with, like the flag on it, or the blue field with the stars. I suppose if you try to order a regular pair of Vans and custom get them, you might be able to find that on there. But when it comes to the wides, you're extremely limited to how you can construct the van. So like, I was kind of stuck with this. I spent about 30 minutes changing the design back and forth. I wish that they would have had a red checkerboard or a blue checkerboard instead of the black. I might have put that on here. But this is what I went for. And I got these because I knew 4th of July was coming, and fortunately they got here in time, and I just thought that was cool. And this is another pair I kind of want to take decent care of, but eventually I'll beat on these. The thing about these things is when you get them, the first thing you've got to do is you got to rip out the insole, because it has this arch support. It's got this super hard rubber heel rise in it. And then attached to that, I might be able to rip this one out of here. This is what you want to put in. I don't know if I can get it out. There's like a fiber board almost. I'm trying to get it with my fingernails, and I'm getting close. Oh, I might have got it. I'm working my fingers on. It's glued in, but I think I can rip it out. Here we go. There we go. So when you go to take this out, this is going to be stuck in there too. There we go. So this is glued in. This is glued to that. And getting it out isn't super easy. However, when you first get the shoe, so the name of this video is, even though I gave you a little preamble with this whole journey, how to convert your wide custom order Vans to barefoot shoes. Because as soon as you get them, it's the first thing you gotta do is try to get this out. Don't wear them. As soon as you get them, rip this out, because if you start wearing them, you're going to compact the glue that's in there, and you're going to make it so this is impossible to get out. You're going to get them out, they're going to come out like this, and then you got to separate these two, and when that happens, a lot of this blue foam stuff will stick to this. You got to kind of cut that off. Then you're going to take this and you're going to stick it back in there. Make sure you get that all the way in. And then I've got so many shoes, and I've converted so many shoes. I've got a bunch of these that are laying around. You want to get yourself these Spenco insole, or the cork. The cork would be great if you could find 1/4 inch cork like Chris sent me. You can see that's already conformed to my foot. Look at that. That's the beauty of the cork. It's like wearing a pair of Birkenstocks, right? It kind of shapes to your foot, and you can see here that there's an arch. This is flat. There's no arch support in here. But you can see how my foot, when it pushes down, you see that arch lift there, and you can kind of see it in there? That's my natural arch when my feet are flat on the ground. When I lift my foot and I look at my foot, I got a nice high arch now. Didn't have that before. So if you can get yourself some 1/4 inch cork and shape that, I think that would be better. If you're not that industrious, you can order some Spencos online, and I'm pretty happy with these. They give you a little bounce back cushion. It's okay. So yeah, you put that fiberboard part back in, then you get yourself a set of these, and you put this in, and now you've got a barefoot shoe. Now, it's not perfect. We just discussed this. I'll put one of these out here so you can keep looking at it. Here's the thing, Vans. You're still putting the point in the center, and I understand that that's an aesthetic thing, and that's the reason that they're doing it. But Vans, if you're listening, a better thing to do, and this is the weird thing to me, because Vans are typically, when I was a kid, I was a skateboarder, surfer, BMX guy, and we all wore Vans. We were athletic. We were running around, but we didn't understand that they were actually screwing our feet up. what you want to do, which I hope you do, Vans for your wide Vans. Instead of tapering this in here, bring this straighter along the big toe. Bring this straighter, and I would say bring it straighter out to about your height for your, like this is a size 10, figure that out. And then from that point, then start rounding it towards here and then bring it back down. Change the shape of the toe. If you can bring this straight up, then my big toe won't be hitting this or anybody else's. It'll allow people's toes to splay out, which is far more healthy. If you're watching this video, you know this already. It's the reason you're here. So your big thing with a barefoot shoe is zero drop, zero rise, no heel rise, right? It's flat, no arch support, wide toe box, and as thin of a sole as possible. Might as well take that off. Okay? As thin as a sole, as thin of a sole as possible. That's what you want to do. So, I'm just saying, these are pretty close to okay. And they're going to work for me, and they're far more comfortable than the standard size. I should take this off my forehead. That's just stupid. So, all I'm saying is that you can order these on the Vans website. You just go on there. You can mix and match the stuff, pick what you need, put it on there. You can see what the shoe looks like from all the different angles as you apply and change these, the materials and the colors, and just do that. And you'll be okay. But I hope Vans is listening, because here's the thing about, all right, I'm over it. Here's the thing about the Vans. What I love about them is that they're classic. They take me back to my child. I think I got my first pair of Vans, and I mean, I wasn't a child. I was already in high school. I kind of started late with Vans. It was like 82, 82, 83, first pair of Vans in that range. They were the checkerboard slip-ons, I think, were my first. I quickly went to the high tops. This is what I wore Vans in school, and then coming up I wore Chuck Taylors, obviously, as a little kid. And then we had the Japs, we call them, the cheap imitation Converse, and I always wear those out right away and beat them up and be like, Mom, they don't last, I needed the Converse. So I got the Converse. I remember wearing the Adidas, the something Smith version, you know, the white leather ones with the green accent. They had a pretty wide toe box. We had Keds, you know, which Keds have the widest toe box I've found out of all the classic sneakers, but still not enough. After wearing these for the past year and having worn going to the Luna sandals and everything else, my feet are wide enough now because, you know, they're allowed to splay. My toes can splay out when I squat and everything else the way your feet are supposed to. Most shoes I can't even wear anymore. I probably sell a few of my old pair of Vans here coming up pretty soon. I've given stuff away. I've thrown stuff out. I've put them on top of the garbage cans for, you know, homeless people to take. There's just no point in having any of the shoes anymore that have a pointy toe because I can't get my feet in them. They're uncomfortable and they hurt. You know, it doesn't take long when I'm walking around where they hurt my feet now. So that's it. I'm just saying you can go to the Vans website. You'll see it. Go to the wides and you can build your own pair of Vans. And if you want them to be barefoot, you got to rip the original soles out of them, put the paper back in, put this in or a cork, and you're pretty golden. Now, back to the Broadwingers briefly. For me, I don't care so much about the super thin, flexible sole aspect of the barefoot shoe thing when it comes to work. Because this shop here is concrete. I'm on my feet all day. And I've spoken to Chris about it, and it goes against his his philosophy. But it's your money. He'll do what you ask him to do. So what we're doing is we're going to put, it's about a 10 millimeter piece of this Moreflex or New Flex, whatever they call it, the foam section. And then he's going to put like another 2 millimeter layer of a black color of another material. Same stuff, might be a little bit denser. And then we're going with the Vibram after that. Now, the brown pair I ordered first, you guys might remember them. They had the soft, or excuse me, the smooth leather on the toe and on the heel. I'm removing that, and I'm going with a double layered rough out for the vamp part of the shoe. and he's making those for me right now. And they're going to have, you know, the thick layer of the new flex. They're going to have the extra layer, and I'm going with that super thick tread, that lawnmower tire tread that he's got. And those are going to be interesting because they're going to be a lot thicker than these on the sole, which will add a little bit of weight. That's the other thing. You want the shoes to be as light as possible. That's part of the Barefoot philosophy. I agree with all that. If you're running around, if you're out in the woods, you're scampering around over the rocks and the grass and the roots of the trees and everything else, that's what you want. You want, I've said this before, there's 26 bones in your feet. The way your body works, your feet are supposed to feel the ground. They're supposed to manipulate and move over the different shapes of the terrain. You know, we weren't designed to be walking on smooth surfaces and concrete and roads and hardwood floors and all the stuff that we do now as humans. Our bodies are designed to be scampering around the wilderness, man. Hunter-gatherers, killing stuff, bringing it home and eating it. You know what I'm saying? And the way the body works is your foot is moving over stuff. It sends those messages to the brain. The brain automatically tells the body what to do to stay upright. And when you're wearing a super thick, super firm sole, I think of those Pacific Northwest boots, right? With the high heel and the steel shank and all the leather. That's a cast. It's a cast on your foot. It is not good for you. It's not good for you. They're cool. They look cool. They're not good for you. They're not good for your health. So even though I'm getting a thicker layer on this, all it is this leather, the foam cushy layer, and a sole. So even though the next pair, the other pair he's working on are going to be thicker, they're still going to flex pretty well. I'll still be able to do this with them. I'll still be able to twist them around. But they're not going to be like a super thin sole that you could double twist like this. But that's because it's what I want. It's what I need. I love these shoes. If I'm running around in them, I've hiked in these many times. These things are phenomenal. They're the best shoe I've ever bought. They're worth every penny to me personally. But when I'm in here on the concrete all day, even though these are far more comfortable than a lot of other shoes I've worn, my feet will hurt at the end of the day. Not here. It's when I get home and I lay down and then I get up to walk around, you know, like 7 o'clock at night or something. My feet hurt a little because there's what just wasn't enough here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm building these for my lifestyle, for the way I need them to work. Now, Chris makes these for a lot of people that travel, farm workers, people who are working out on the land all the time. And there's, okay, this is like, it's over 3 millimeter thick bison hide, rough out, hand stitched. This is a heavy duty, tough friggin' boot here, man. You'll have this for the rest of your life if you take care of it. You just got to resole them once in a while. And by the way, the resole, you don't have to send these to Chris to have them resoled. You could actually do this yourself. There's videos on it. You can get in here and peel this off from here, clean it up real well, and buy your own material and glue that on and reshape it. Buy your own sole. Glue it. That's what I plan to do in the future. And I'll do videos on that. But I just want to send these back to Chris because I want him to see how I use them, how I'm wearing them. I had one little issue with these, which was interesting. And you could see it in the video, I think. But you'll see how the heel is more compressed, the material here, than it is here. There was just something about this particular new flex, more flex, whatever you want to call it. It'd be nice if I can just tuck those laces or keep them in there. It didn't bounce back at the heel because I'm standing all day like this. You know, my weight is more on my heels when I'm doing this sort of thing. I lean forward a little bit. I do like to be on the balls of my feet. But yeah, the heel compressor didn't bounce back. So in this particular pair, I did put I took one of these, I cut this off right here, and I put this little tiny riser underneath the heel to compensate for the compression here, and it fixed everything. I was having an Achilles issue, which I've been wearing barefoot shoes for several years and never had that. But when I started wearing these, I got it it almost felt like my Achilles was tearing a bit, and it really slowed me down for working out. I got a little chubby again because I wasn't doing my burpees or anything, and ever since I put those in, I've been better. Now I'm 100% healed, trying to get back to getting fit again because I like doing burpees and push-ups, and when you're in that position, you're hyperextending your Achilles tendon. So I fixed it. But hopefully the new set that we get won't do that. We'll see how it works out. Everything's an experiment. But and that won't happen for you, by the way, if you're not standing on concrete all day like I am. So that's it. Still a barefoot shoe. I'm just going with a thicker sole, and that's something Chris could do. As I was saying, most of the people, he had a guy that was in Nepal, up in the mountains there. I think he was in the Himalayas or something, and he wore a pair of these. And his report back to Chris was he was the only guy that had no issues, like with his feet or his shoes or anything. Um, you know, these are a proven thing. But again, they're not inexpensive. All right, anything that's decent quality that's made for you to fit your specific body is not going to come inexpensively. That's just how life is. It's the way it works. So I get it. It's a fair criticism to an extent, but I feel like anybody who's criticizing these things based on price, I mean, you get what you pay for. I would say also, here's the thing. If you're curious about the barefoot thing and you like what I do and you believe what I'm telling you, that doesn't mean this should be, I am not saying, matter of fact, I've said it before, this should not be your first pair of barefoot shoes. That's crazy. You never did it before and you're going to shell out that kind of money for these? That's you don't want to do that. You want to build yourself a pair of Vans or there's tons of barefoot shoes out on the market. I don't like them. I don't like them because almost every pair of barefoot shoes out there looks ridiculous to me. They look ridiculous to me, and I'm wearing these. What the hell? It's like, these almost look like West Hollywood shoes. I get it, but these are classics, man. And the way I came up in the '80s, this is it. That's me. I'm still dressing the way I was dressed when I was 15. So I'm such a fashion icon. So buy a pair of shoes that are designed to be barefoot shoes already. Give them a shot. Try them out. Get used to it. Doing the barefoot thing is not something you should just jump into and start running around because you can injure yourself. You have to learn how to walk again. You're not going to do a super hard heel strike anymore. Your heel obviously hits the ground before the rest of your foot, but it's not a hard heel strike. It's more of a boom. It's a little flatter. And when you run, you'll find yourself running more on the balls of your feet the way we're designed to do. Watch a baby stroll across the floor. You'll see them it looks like they're on their tiptoes, but they're on the balls of their feet. That's how we're supposed to be doing it. You're supposed to be taking shorter strides. All that will come naturally. You just have to train yourself into the barefoot shoe. Once you get to that point, and if you're like me and you feel like you need a robust, heavy-duty work boot, moccasin basically is what this is, then you save your fucking shekels, man. Sorry for cursing. But that's what you do. You save your money, and you eventually get yourself a pair. Try the Jim Greens. I might try a pair of the Jim Greens just to do a video on it. I'm not crazy about the aesthetic of that shoe. I'm super glad that he's making them. He's making a lot of people happy, and they're affordable. So if you need a pair of boots, try out the Jim Green. I forget what they're called, but they're out of South Africa. You'll find them. If you're into this, you've probably seen the Rose Anvil channel. He covers this stuff all the time. He knows what he's talking about. I could pick him apart a little bit on some of this stuff. Because he doesn't have the issues we have. He understands the barefoot thing, but he's like a 9.5 standard width. I think he's a D. So he doesn't need a barefoot shoe. It's awesome that he covers it, talks about it, but, for somebody, I need it. I've had issues. I've got foot problems. I needed to do this. It has changed my life. So I think that, you want to listen to people more who wear barefoot shoes, found it, got into the movement, and they can talk to you like I am, where it has been a huge improvement in my life. Huge. Life-changing right here. I needed it. Not everybody needs it. If you're a healthy person running around, you're working out in the gym, all that, having a barefoot shoe, I think, makes a lot of sense. You're going to your toes are going to splay out when you're squatting and moving around, and it's just going to promote a healthy overall body aesthetic. It's just good for you. So you know that already. That's why you're here. That's all I wanted to say. Vans, how to make your Vans into get the wides, rip out the insoles. They're pretty close to a decent barefoot shoe. These, by the way, $120 shipped. Yes, they're made in China. What do you want me to do about that? That's just how it is, man. And it took about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so for them to get here. I'm stoked that these were here for the 4th of July. I'm going to go camping next week, and I'm going to bring these with me because I might stay long enough to where I'll be there on the 4th of July. I don't know, so I'll put these on. But, yeah, $120, basically $1,400. Yeah, try this first. Obviously. There. Don't do this. If you, again, I'm going to reiterate, I've already said it. You're not, if you're like, oh, boy, I like this Mike. He knows what he's talking about. I got some foot issues too. I've got a wide foot. Boy, I'm just going to go get... No! Look around, get an inexpensive pair of barefoot shoes, and start slowly. Because you might discover you can't do it. It might be too much for you. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody has the same patience level. Not everybody has the same discipline. Not everybody has the same work ethic. Don't get me started on this subject. So, I'm just saying, love the Broadwingers. They were great for me. This might be better for you. And now you know how to make them a little bit closer to being a barefoot shoe. I've been wearing, today's my second day wearing these other ones in the shop. I wore them all day yesterday. Perfectly fine. My toes are not being pushed together, but my big toe does hit the side and I can feel it. I can feel it right now. I'm talking about it. And I don't like that. I squat down a lot at work, and when you're squatting, your toes naturally, if you look at your feet when you're barefoot, unless your toe is already bent, if you look down at your feet and your toes are bent in, like your big toes bent in, you did that to yourself. Now, it's not 100% your fault. You didn't know. But the shoe industry has been destroying you your whole life. I don't know what that's about. I mean, it's a fashion thing, but you got to wonder sometimes. I think about the food we're eating, the clothes we're wearing, nylon, people wearing nylon all day. I think that kind of creeps into your skin a bit. I don't think that's good for you. It's almost as if the food industry, the fashion industry, the shoe industry is purposefully ruining your body to keep the medical industry alive. That's how it seems to me. It's like everybody's working in cahoots with one another or something. Like, that's a crazy conspiracy theory, but that's how it seems. Why don't you just make a shoe that works? Why doesn't everybody make the shoe so it forms to a normal foot? Even if you don't have a super wide foot, the one thing you've got from the beginning is your toe is not bent in. Your toe is straight. Your big toe comes off the instep of your foot straight. Could even come out a little bit on some people. It does for people that grew up, like people who grew up on the islands or someplace where they've been barefoot their whole lives. Their toes are like this. Their feet are wedges. Far more healthier than you are, right? Because they're running around all day. It's the Asian squat is a thing, all of it. So if shoe companies would just start making this straight right here, right? Just make this straighter. You could figure it out. You can make this straighter and then start curving it in, and then if you want to come up higher for a center point and then round it over, do that. But for the love of Pete, would you please start fixing this, because you're ruining people's lives and you're costing them more money, and they're, doctor things, back pain, knee pain, all kinds of problems. It's because of the shoes. And Vans, you got a good thing here with these things. People love these things. We all love them. And you got the wides that are available, which I didn't even know my whole life. Did not know that. I don't know how long the wide version has been around, but if you would just make this straighter, it would be great for us. If Vans did this and they marketed it and they said, hey, we got wide toe box barefoot version of Vans. Here it is. Everybody buy them. People who've been wearing standard Vans would try them out. They'd probably find out that they like them even better. And you can make it so the insoles come out like this other pair. That would be nice because now you're giving people the option. They could just, because ripping this out that's glued in when you get it, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So it's not any fun. I mean, I've done it. This is, boy, I can't tell you how many pairs. You guys can look at my videos. I've modified a lot of shoes to make them barefoot, you know, in theory. So if Vans would make a removable insole and change this, by the way, this one here is straighter and I can see it. There is no doubt. I don't know if you could see it from there. You should be able to see it from here. This shoe is a little bit straighter here than this one. This one bends in a little bit. And when I put them together and I line up the outside, I can see, it ain't by much, but I can see that this one here sticks out a little bit right here. So it's a little bit straighter. And that's why I got these so cheap. I can't believe how inexpensively I bought these. They were brand new off of eBay. What a score. And it made me think, okay, I can order these, and I put these on, and they're not as comfortable as these because my toe hits more in these. But again, not being forced in. And my feet tend to naturally roll out to the outside, so it'll eventually stretch more here, and my foot will work its way over that way, and I'll have less pressure here. That's the greatest thing about these wide version of the Vans. But again, for the 4th or 5th time, Vans, straighten this out here, man. Straighten it out, dude. Straighten this out. And then you'd have something. I'm telling you. I'll do a video on it if you do that. Everybody would want them. You're already making enough money, you probably don't care. I'm talking to the Vans Corporation. But I'm telling you, if you do this, you're going to be king. You're going to be king. Because standard people can wear them. You know, regular width people can wear those. Even your regular widths, if you could just straighten that out. I don't know what the problem is here, man. It's like me making my own clothes lately. Like I made the caps, I'm doing a shirt, I'm doing a jacket and everything else. And those things are out there already. I could look at 5 versions of a waxed canvas jacket. And they're all cool. But not a single one of them has all the details I would want in one jacket. I gotta make my own. Why don't you just do it right the first time? I'm done with you. Have a good day. Thanks for being here. I hope you got something positive out of this. I just trying to help people out with this idea here. It's going to work for me. Can't wait to send these out and then get them back and show them to you. When the brown ones get here, you'll see them. I got to get back to work. Have a great day. Be kind to one another. Come back again. I'll catch you in the next one. Boopity boop boop. Boop boop. Broadwingers. Very cool boot.